it isn't the Power Rangers?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 worst Power Rangers characters.
Guys, wake up and smell the darkness. We've done our best. We failed.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most boring, annoying, or wasted potential characters from across the Morphing Grid. To balance out the negativity, who's your favorite Ranger? Let us know in the comments below. Number 20, Elgar, Power Rangers Turbo and Power Rangers in Space. This villain was more grating than intimidating. Although Elgar was the nephew and right-hand man to the big bad Divatox, he ruined her plans almost as much as the Rangers did. Most of the time, his dim-witted shtick is played off as a joke, but Divatox's crew didn't need any more comic relief.
Give it your best shot! So, you got one too! Well, let's get to it, baby!
Honestly, Elgar barely qualified because his jokes weren't even that funny. Although fans thought they would be free of him when Turbo ended, the eye-rolling villain was unfortunately brought back as a major recurring threat during In Space 2.
What are you doing here?
Whatever you wish, my queen, but I don't do windows. But first, can I get a bite to eat? I'm really starving.
Unsurprisingly, the added screen time didn't make him any more tolerable. It came as a mercy when Zordon's sacrifice finally put Elgar and his bad jokes to rest. Number 19, Prince VEKAR, Power Rangers Super Megaforce. If you were expecting the leader of the Armada fleet to be a composed and menacing adversary, you'd be very wrong. As a matter of fact, the only feeling Prince VEKAR elicited was irritation.
So, a Power Ranger did this to my soldier? The humans can fight back!
Yes, apparently,
Yes! Well, I don't like that! Get me another commander!
He was supposed to be a big threat to the Rangers, but his plans were juvenile at best. And whenever Prince VEKAR fails, he tends to blame everyone but himself. Nothing highlighted the villain's immaturity more than his death scene. For some reason, he decided to ignore his lieutenant's warnings and face the Rangers himself.
You're the one who destroyed my planet!
Yeah, so what do you want? An autograph?
Naturally, all that act of bravado does is put him on the wrong end of a Megazord fight. It's hard not to cheer when VEKAR finally goes down for good. Number 18, TYZONN, Power Rangers Operation Overdrive. Eventual Alien doesn't exactly scream Defender of Earth, but in a baffling turn of events, the Rangers insisted upon recruiting TYZONN to their side. We're still trying to figure out why.
TYZONN, you heard the Sentinel Knight. We've got a long way to go. Why don't you stay and work with us?
I can't.
While some might find TYZONN's naivete endearing, we often found him annoying. It didn't help that the character was a walking contradiction. Although he's supposedly fueled by revenge, Operation Overdrive never decided whether they want him to be comic relief or a tragic anti-hero. The resulting hodgepodge of a character doesn't do either archetype justice. Instead, TYZONN lived on as one of the most head-scratching characters to ever pick up a morpher.
Scaredy cats! Whoa, look at that!
Number 17, Antonio Garcia, Power Rangers Samurai and Power Rangers Super Samurai. The villainous Master Zandran made it clear that he had plans to flood the world, but it didn't seem like the nonchalant Antonio understood how serious that threat was. Introduced as the Samurai Team's sixth member, Antonio never quite adjusted to the high stakes of Ranger life.
Oh no, didn't mean to play lumberjack! Ah!
Even well into Super Samurai, he still consistently failed to take things seriously. Sometimes, his attitude would cause serious issues for the rest of the team. Unfortunately, the other Rangers didn't always hold him accountable for his failings. Their inaction prevented Antonio from learning from his mistakes. For someone who's supposedly smart enough to build their own morpher, Antonio lacks some serious emotional intelligence.
Oh man, don't be such a downer, we just won.
Number 16, Dax STEWART, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Even though the Masked Rider only appeared in 3 episodes of Power Rangers, he still managed to completely overstay his welcome. Most of that blame lies in the fact that he isn't actually a Ranger at all.
Once more, we are all safe. To fight you another day, Count Dragon.
In a behind-the-scenes ploy to build hype for the Masked Rider's English premiere, production company Saban mandated that Dax STEWART appear in Mighty Morphin. Ironically, his inclusion attracted more hatred than interest. Dax is a total wet blanket on the overall story. Even an entire arc centered on him wasn't enough to convince fans otherwise. It's a good thing that the 3-part storyline was the first and last time Dax appeared on Power Rangers.
Now, villains, you shall know the power of the Masked Rider and the Power Rangers.
Number 15, Choobo, Power Rangers Ninja Storm. The very last thing LaThor's team needed was yet another bumbling lieutenant, especially one as grossly incompetent as Choobo.
Now, Choobo! Goodbye, Wind Ninja Academy!
To be fair, he doesn't stay as a lieutenant for long, but that's only because he's quickly promoted to general and given a pivotal role in the Thunder Rangers saga. Although the show kept trying to make Choobo's antics entertaining, he just came off as obnoxious. Whether he's flirting with Tori or failing to capture the Rangers once again, he always ends up the butt of a bad joke.
I said I'd make it big someday!
LaThor and his lackeys are some of the most memorable villains in the franchise, but Choobo is one member of the crew that's better left forgotten. Number 14, FLIT, Power Rangers Jungle Fury. This nature-themed season was all about the Rangers channeling their power through animal spirits like lions, cheetahs, and jaguars. FLIT, on the other hand, he's a fly. Not quite what you think of when you hear the name Jungle Fury. After the warrior was cursed into taking the form of a bug, he had to live inside Camille's stomach or else he'd die.
Ever since the day she cursed me, I've been a fly, kept prisoner within Camille's yucky stomach.
Ridiculous backstory aside, the real issue is that when FLIT did show up, he never stopped talking. To put it nicely, his commentary needed some work.
The beast is on the run. My new friend is one tough hombre.
FLIT nearly ruins just about any scene he's in. Every time he appeared, we really wished we'd had a fly swatter. Number 13, Nick Russell, Power Rangers Mystic Force. The Mystic Force Red Ranger is the exact opposite of what you want in a team leader. Instead of being confident, understanding, and caring, Nick is very whiny, immature, and self-centered. His egregious character flaws are especially glaring when he's compared to the rest of the well-rounded cast. Don't expect him to grow up in the heat of battle either. When the going gets tough, Nick's usually the first one to give up.
Stop. I'm gonna give myself up.
What?
I'm not gonna lose all my friends. There's something I can do to stop it.
But if you surrender, you'll destroy everything that we stand for.
It doesn't help that he's also the center of some of the season's dense lore too. Sadly, the only interesting question posed from all Nick's screen time is why the Rangers decided to make him their leader.
Fine. Yes, I've given up.
Number 12, Vypra, Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. Ironically, the grounded Lightspeed Rangers ended up facing one of the franchise's most unrealistic villains, and it's not because Vypra's a 5,000-year-old demon. What completely takes us out of the show is that her acting isn't that great.
I am Vypra. I'm glad we finally met, so I can destroy you.
Vypra's delivery is often awkward. Her lack of enthusiasm completely destroys any chance that we'll be intimidated by her. Admittedly, the writing doesn't do her any favors. For someone billed as a main villain, Vypra doesn't actually do much. She doesn't even end up being the season's final boss.
Why has the queen summoned me?
I don't know, but her transformation is nearly complete.
When there were only a few episodes left, Vypra was unceremoniously absorbed by the evil Queen Banshira. That turn made it feel like suffering through Vypra's flat monologues was pointless. Number 11, Spike Skulovich, Power Rangers Samurai and Power Rangers Super Samurai. On paper, modernizing some of Mighty Morphin's comedic characters wasn't a bad idea. Unfortunately, Samurai did it by introducing Skull's never-before-mentioned son, Spike.
I'll take that. No, I got it.
This young character had all of his father's most aggravating qualities without any of the charm. While some of the blame fell on Felix Ryan's performance, the script almost seemed to be written so he'd elicit the maximum amount of hate. Despite not being able to compare to his dad, it felt like Spike and Bulk had more screen time than the original duo ever did. The kid's tenor on the show almost managed to damage the legacy Bulk and Skull left behind.
Gotta get you out of here. But our fans! That's who you pay us to get you away from. Oh, come on! That's not the way it's supposed to be!
Number 10, NORG, Power Rangers Operation Overdrive.
It's a family name. Yeah, it's short for NORG.
There's cutesy, there's bumbling, and then there's NORG. NORG is a Yeti living in the cave that Flurious takes over, and thus becomes Flurious's servant, though NORG sees it as making new friends. Unfortunately, his bumbling and naive nature can often come off as more cringeworthy than lovable, especially when he has a voice like Big the Cat.
It may only be a lump of coal now, but if I sit on it for 1,000,000 years, It'll be a priceless diamond!
Despite all that, NORG's completely harmless, and has helped the Rangers a few times, mostly because of his friendly nature or his gullibility. After being disowned by his so-called friend in the finale, NORG redeems himself by rescuing the TYZONN's girlfriend. But why did he need redemption? He wasn't that evil to begin with.
Seems that this Yeti fought off half a dozen chillers and saved her.
Number 9. Richie, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Honestly, Rangers fans, we don't blame you if you don't remember Richie. He first appeared as the new kid in Angel Grove working for Ernie at the youth center. Richie was friendly enough to everyone, especially Trini.
Would you like to study with me later, for the test?
Sure, I like that.
He also made a perfect red herring for the White Ranger, even though we all knew it was Tommy. However, after Trini's actress left the series, Richie just disappeared, never to be seen or mentioned again. It was disappointing that we sunk so much time into a character that had less effect on the plot than Bulk and Skull do in an average episode. If they ever reboot Mighty Morphin, we doubt Richie will make the cut.
Do you want to join us?
Thanks, but I can't. I gotta get home. Man, we're still unpacking from the move.
Number 8. Sam, Power Rangers SPD.
This isn't the first time we've met, and it won't be the last.
Early in this futuristic season, Z befriended a little boy who was teased because of his teleportation powers because she knew the feeling. He confidently stated,
"I'm gonna be like you."
Whoa!
I'm gonna be a Power Ranger.
And it turns out he was right on the ball. Later in the series, an older Sam from the future travels to the present to aid the team as the Omega Ranger. Unfortunately, the journey turns him into a glowing ball of light when unmorphed. This ensured that the Rangers could barely interact with him properly.
Okay, that's gonna take some getting used to.
While Sam is a much-needed ally with his own Megazord and futuristic morpher, he has absolutely no character development whatsoever. He's just a hollow, glowing ball. Literally.
See you around, guys!
Wait!
Sam! Number 7. Mentor G, Power Rangers Samurai and Super Samurai.
It pains me to say it, but I don't think you're truly ready to become a samurai.
Well, he's not the worst mentor. We'll get to that later. G isn't that deep of a character. Throughout the show, we learn that he's experienced in symbol training, is apparently Jaden's guardian, and has a motorcycle. Just because. But we don't often get to dive deeper than that. He also isn't that great of a leader either.
He's got mad skills. I'm impressed.
Yes, Jaden's one of the best that's ever been.
I was talking about Kevin.
G's mentoring includes doing things like showing favoritism towards Jaden and forcing someone to get over their trauma.
Stop your nonsense and eat this sushi. See? You're cured.
At this point, we believe a sensei turned guinea pig can mentor better than G ever could. It's also worth mentioning that his actor previously portrayed Emperor Grum on SPD. Honestly, the villain feels more likable than G. Number 6. Animus/Kite, Power Rangers Wild Force.
Remember, Zanagu. What am I supposed to remember?
There's being environmentally conscious, and then there's being a hypocrite. Animus is the godlike Megazord destroyed by Master Org 3,000 years ago. Though his spirit helped the Rangers several times, his reincarnation ruins his character. He returns disguised as a little boy named Kite, who befriends the Rangers, but quickly flips out over pollution.
The Power Rangers fight to protect the Earth, but humans are the ones destroying nature.
Be quiet. A kid shouldn't talk like that.
It doesn't matter whether you're a kid or an adult. This is important.
Convinced that humanity isn't worth saving, Animus reveals himself and takes away the Wild Zords, aka the only things helping to protect the Earth.
But how can we ever defeat the orcs without our Zords?
That is your problem, not ours.
He does give them back next episode, claiming that it was a test to see if they were dedicated. Despite already showing their dedication dozens of times prior, seriously, this self-righteous act destroys any sympathy we could have had for what happens with them later. Number 5. Troy Burrows, Power Rangers Megaforce and Super Megaforce.
Follow my lead! It's morphin' time!
The 20th anniversary seasons garnered very split reactions from fans. Part of the blame comes from the Red Ranger. Troy was the new kid in town who had recurring dreams about the upcoming legendary battle. In the beginning, he is chosen to be the Red Ranger simply because he's met with adversity. Not that we know what said adversity is. On top of a bland character, we also have bland acting.
Dreams are the things humans wish for and believe in. They are the goals each of us hope to achieve.
Actor Andrew Gray was either constantly brooding or barely showed any emotion. Additionally, it didn't help that he delivered his lines more robotically than the actual robot in this season.
Moon Knight! You have a mission to fulfill!
Troy is living proof that looking like a leader means nothing if there isn't good enough acting and writing behind you.
Super Mega Rangers, that's a super mega win.
And stop saying that! Number 4, Justin Stewart, Power Rangers Turbo.
Guys, I'm the new Blue Ranger. Isn't that cool or what?
Justin was a 12-year-old prodigy in high school, just go with it, who found out who the Rangers were. He was subsequently recruited by Zordon to take the injured Rocky's place as the Blue Turbo Ranger. As you can expect, the young kid wasn't as mature as his teammates. This meant the storylines that were centered around him often felt low stakes and juvenile. He also felt out of place next to his teenage teammates. Whenever Justin hung out with his friends, it felt like they were babysitting him. Fans might have been able to give him a pass if he was only around for one season, but seeing him to be chosen as the Turbo Ranger twice really made him infamous.
Justin, you need some help over there? No, I don't need help!
Number 3, Divatox, Power Rangers Turbo. You know you're a pretty bad villain when Rita Repulsa can't stand you.
My advice to you, Divatox, run!
Thanks for nothing.
Divatox was the evil pirate queen who wanted to conquer the Earth. Why? Because the Rangers ruined her wedding with a volcano monster. Yes, she was that petty. Not only that, but the members of her army, especially her bumbling nephew, were pretty pathetic.
Somebody who wouldn't even lift a little finger to fight. I'm so brilliant.
On top of that, her plans were completely moronic. For the first half of the season, she would frequently plant bombs all over the city, but she always gave them long timers that allowed the Rangers to find and defuse them. Despite her petulance, idiocy, and pitiful lackeys, she's the villain that ultimately destroys the power chamber. That's honestly pretty embarrassing for the heroes.
Bye-bye, Rangers.
Number 2, Dax Lo, Power Rangers Operation Overdrive.
Actor, lead role. Knowledge of martial arts a must.
Oh, come on, am I perfect or what?
While there were plenty of things in the Operation Overdrive season we could criticize, one of the biggest issues was Dax, the Blue Ranger. Everything was like a movie to Dax because he worked as a Hollywood stuntman that wanted to be a leading star. Although he wished to be more appreciated, there's not much to appreciate about him.
Out of all the monsters that have tried to pulverize us, he was definitely the most sensitive.
Dax tries and fails at being the comic relief character. He's constantly mugged, painfully overacted, and made stupid jokes.
Hey, if Mac doesn't come back, can I have the Sonic Streaker?
Like the majority of his team, Dax is often ready to give up when things get hard. To top it all off, the only development he gets is that he wants to be a director in the finale. We think we'll skip out on his movies.
Yesterday's news, Mr. H. Now, I want to direct.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Gosei, Power Rangers Megaforce and Super Megaforce.
I am Gosei. My mentor Zordon placed me here to be guardian of this planet.
During the 20th anniversary season, Megaforce and Super Megaforce saw fit to introduce another Zordon-like mentor, but that concept ultimately backfired. Meet Gosei, Zordon's supposed protege. We were a bit skeptical because that's something that he only mentioned in passing. He was apparently billed as the guardian of the Earth, that would only awaken when the Earth was under great threat. So, where was he over the last 20 years of major threats?
There's a simple explanation for that.
Not only is his backstory incredibly vague, but rather than offer words of wisdom like his mentor, Gosei just hands out new weapons and Zords like lottery tickets.
Rangers, your bravery has earned you this new power.
He gives one last half-hearted pep talk in the finale and is never seen again. Super mega good riddance.
This is our darkest hour, but I have faith in you.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.